Are underdogs in Baltimore Sunday night, where the MVP favorite faces the reigning MVP. Here's Josh Allen on Lamar. Take a listen.
One, he's an inspiration to a lot of people in this country. The way that he plays the game, the doubters that he had coming out and asking to switch positions early on, and then for him to show the resiliency and the work ethic and the attitude to go forward and win 2 MVPs. You know, guys around the league, they see that he's really changed the way that I think guys play the game. But make no mistake about it, he can throw the snot out of the football.
Here's Josh and Lamar head-to-head. Josh has got 2 wins. Lamar has 1. So under 200 yards, total yards per game for Lamar, and a decent amount of turnovers for both guys.
Josh is
and awful passer rating.
Yeah,
for both.
it's just kind of a defensive battle.
Their one playoff game was 17-3. Neither one of them played that well.
Yeah.
That's a weird.
All right, so for you, which QB do you trust more?
I mean, look, obviously Josh is having the better season right now. He's playing phenomenal. But I'm going to go with Lamar because to me, the only questions about Lamar is the playoffs. Like regular season, the dude is great. And obviously he doesn't throw it like Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that. But as far as effectiveness in the regular season, he's great. So is Josh. But Josh, we have more questions than just, is he ever going to win a Super Bowl or win the AFC? It's, is he going to revert to being reckless?
Yep.
And even though he started off great, we've seen him start off seasons great, maybe even greater than this, and then still have those moments. Lamar's not really reckless. Now, he'll make some turnovers here and there, but he's not reckless, doesn't make the boneheaded, what was he thinking type plays. He may miss a pass, obviously, we saw against the Chiefs, but he's not going to just have these ridiculous turnovers. And these stats, I kind of call them the reliability stats. Maybe they're very close, but Lamar does have Embiid in, touchdown percentage, interception percentage. I put those up there because I do think Josh is a better passer, but Lamar is more accurate, if you'd say passer
more
rating.
Efficient.
Yeah, more efficient. That's a good word. And, so you see there, he hadn't even fumbled his
number shocks the audience.
Oh, yeah.
For their careers. I think that Lamar's passer rating is 5 points for his career. That's the whole sample.
Yep.
I think
this is where stats don't make sense because they're different types of players and they're asked to do different things. First off, I'm sure Lamar Jackson has been able to play with more leads than Josh Allen, number one. And number two, Josh Allen, again, is a more thrower of the ball, right? So he's actually pushing the ball down the field way more than what Lamar Jackson is going to be asked to do. So, of course, some of these numbers are going to look like that, right? Because Josh Allen is kind of like a Brett Favre-esque in that way, where it's like, I'm going to sling it, man. Like, let's go. So it's a completely different style of ball. It's why sometimes Steph Curry doesn't have the number 1 shooting percentage for threes, because he's shooting so many threes and he's shooting from so far away and with many guys' hands in his face. So it's completely different. So this idea that we can just kind of compare some of these numbers, it really does not make sense. If you just look at pure shooting percentage of basketball players, of you have big men who have a higher shooting percentage, overall shooting percentage than, say, a Steph Curry. Because, again, of the type of shots that Steph's taking. Another great basketball example is this. They talk about, Michael Jordan's shooting percentage or Kobe Bryant. And it's like, because they are taking harder shots. The style of basketball back then was so much more ISO, more contested shots. Just more difficult shots. So it was more of a volume game. Same thing with Allen Iverson, some of these other older school players. So it's just a completely different style of game that they ask Josh Allen to play versus Lamar. So this looking at this is just absurd to me, quite frankly. It really makes no sense.
that probably shocks the audience. Go ahead, Greg.
Look, I like both of these guys. I think stylistically, they're similar in ways, but very different as well, which is strange. But I got to go with Josh.
Exactly.
Like I'm, as much as I love Lamar and what he represents, leadership, all the things, if I am trying to win, and it's a very important game, I don't know if I can count on Lamar to be special the way that he is special in these regular season games.
So you're saying more a playoff?
That's what truly matters. If I need you to show up in the most important point, in the most important spots, I need you to be who you've always been, and Lamar tends to not be that. Josh Allen, albeit reckless, even in his recklessness, he's going to give you something special. He's going to have some highs. He might take you on the greatest roller coaster ride ever, but you're going to be
playing my song.
Absolutely, but you're going to be there.
So right, and that's not Lamar.
But no, that's not Lamar.
That's not
and
Lamar.
Also, so I trust Lamar more. I fear Josh more. This graphic to me is nerve-wracking for the Bills, because we haven't had a big drop in quite some time.
That's exactly right.
And so, I mean, he has played clean, almost flawless. Game 2, he didn't really have to do anything, but it was totally efficient football. You do fear that's coming. And it's been 4 weeks, so this will change. But up to this moment of the season, Wilds, this is game of the year. Up to this point in the season, this is in my opinion,
bigger than the Chiefs.
Yes,
Ravens?
bigger than Chiefs-Ravens, because the stakes for that for one team were kind of non-existent. There were no real stakes for the Chiefs in that game.
Bengals, Chiefs?
No real stakes for the Chiefs in that game either. Because they had just beaten the Ravens. This game, let's just go through it. Baltimore wins, then they've steadied. People are like, they probably should be 3-1. Some folks would be like, well, actually, they could be 4-0. They're back to being, in my opinion, number 2 with a bullet in the conference. Yeah. And Buffalo, you start to get real worried about in this regard quickly, because when you looked at their schedule to start the year, everyone knew first 3, last 3, you should take care of business, because that middle 10-11 is brutal. You get the Titans in there, sure, and we'll see what the Dolphins look like if Tua's back. But everything else is incredibly tough. Ravens, Texans, at the Jets, Seahawks, Colts, Chiefs, Niners, Rams.
Right, Bills are in serious trouble now. The Cowboys losing to the Ravens isn't that big of a deal, but now if the Bills lose to the Ravens, it's just devastating. The sky is falling. And I just wanted to point out real fast, games played, Josh Allen 97, Lamar Jackson 89. So obviously not a direct comparison, but not enough for it to matter this much. Josh Allen pass attempts 3,217 compared to Lamar Jackson's 2,202. So Josh Allen literally has over 1,000 more attempts in an 8-game difference. That matters, okay? That matters when you're looking at some of these other stats like passer rating and turnover, and interceptions and stuff. Those things matter. Josh Allen is throwing the ball significantly more, not to mention a lot of how he's been coached previously has been, hey, it's 3rd and long, 3rd and whatever. We're trying to push the ball down the field. It's okay if you throw an interception because it's as good as a punt, right? That is what they've done with Josh Allen a lot over the years. So some of those stats are just absurdly misleading.
Lions, we knew when the Bills schedule came out, first 3, last 3 was where they could really make their money. Yep. Flip side, if Buffalo wins, they will be number 1 in everyone's facile power rankings, because how could they not be? They've beaten the Ravens, as if the Chiefs could ever do that. And Baltimore will find itself next week in a double must-win with Cincinnati. Both teams 1-3. Cincinnati hopes they're 1-3. Yeah, if Cincinnati's not 1-3, then they're eliminated either way. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So, this is such a swing game for the conference. In this spot, I do trust Lamar more for what Bruce said. I think I know what I'm getting. If you were to tell me one of these guys is going to have 5 touchdowns and 400 total yards, I would bet on Josh Allen, but I trust Lamar more.
Just quickly, Greg, and Nick, you touched on it. These are Josh Allen's last 5 games. He hasn't thrown an interception in 170 pass attempts. Does this make you think he's on the right track?
It does.
He's not going to throw an interception, or we're due for an interception.
It does. It really makes me believe he's on the right track. And even in 2023, he started the season through 3 weeks. He had 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
This is drastic for the Buffalo Bills. This is why they are 3-0, because of the play of Josh Allen. I think this is consistent.
I just wonder, if I may, just quickly, how much of it is how much easier it is for him to ignore the devil on his shoulder, given who they were playing the first 3 weeks.
Sure.
Versus
Week 2 is
trying to go blow for blow with Lamar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like we do.
Guys, listen, he's going to throw interceptions. He's going to turn the ball over. He's a quarterback, okay? It's so funny that they're being obsessed with, Josh Allen's turnovers when Patrick Mahomes' turnovers have been up there. And yet no one really seems to think that is a concern at all. There's no conversation. There's been no segment about a true, what do we make of Patrick Mahomes' turnovers? Is this an issue? Is this a cause for a concern? Whatever it may be. And so it just doesn't really make sense to me. The question is, who do you trust more, Josh or Lamar? The answer is, without a doubt, Josh Allen. And that's not meant to be a slight at Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen is just a better quarterback. He's just a better quarterback. He can do more for his team. He can throw the ball. You can actually rely on him having to win a shootout to pass the ball, and he can run. Lamar is obviously a better runner, but outside of that, it's just like Josh can also even be a more physical run, right? It's not like, put it this way, throwing the ball, Josh Allen is miles better than Lamar. Running, Lamar Jackson is just feet better than Josh Allen, because not necessarily in speed, but the type of runs that Josh Allen can still go on and can still get done. You can still rely on Josh Allen to put his head down and barrel through for 5-6 yards. Maybe you can't rely on him as much to rip off a 60-yard run, although we've seen him rip off like a 40-some yard run in the playoffs for a touchdown versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So he still has that big play run capability as well. And so at the end of the day, that's more what you're going to need from a Josh Allen. We can complain about the way how these teams are constructed if you want, right? That they rely on Lamar Jackson more to run than they do Josh Allen, but they still rely on Josh Allen to run as much as well. Maybe not as much this season as they have in years past. But when you look at it like this, you're going to draft a quarterback right now today. Who are you going to pick, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? The answer is obviously Josh Allen. And like Greg Jennings said, right, in the moments when it really matters, Josh Allen steps up. Josh Allen rises to the occasion. Quite frankly, we have not seen Lamar Jackson rise to the occasion. And again, I've said this a million times. I do blame coaching more for Lamar's lack of success in those moments in the playoffs, wherever it may be. But at the same time, he's never done much to overcome it, whereas I've seen Josh Allen overcome not great coaching. I've seen Josh Allen put the team on his back more reliably and put his team in a position to win the game, even if he hasn't, more than I have seen Lamar do it. That's really ultimately what it comes down to. But the truth is that the Buffalo Bills consistently over years have asked Josh Allen, please win us this game. Please win us this game. We need you to throw, run. They have not asked that of Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens. They've been more complete from from a run game, from asking him to not have to throw the ball a million times, as we saw with the massive difference in pass attempts, as well as just relying on him less. They obviously still rely on Lamar. Lamar is still obviously they still ask him to run and do so much. This is not to say that they don't ask Lamar Jackson to do plenty. That's not at all what I'm saying. Both these quarterbacks are asked to do way more than the Patrick Mahomeses of the world, or even the Tom Brady's of the world. So that's not what I'm trying to say, but I'm just trying to argue that at the end of the day, because that's what we're comparing these two guys, the Buffalo Bills ask more from Josh Allen than Lamar Jackson is asked from the Baltimore Ravens. And I just think that Josh Allen has handled that better and in the moments that matter more, and therefore I am going to trust more. Not to mention, if the game, right, no matter what style the game, no matter how the game unfolds, you know that Josh Allen is going to be more versatile than Lamar. If Lamar was down, because that's what a lot of people were saying. Hey, the Ravens were already down, and so that made Lamar Jackson and the Ravens unable to run the ball now. So now they had to throw, and when you turn, and that clearly did not work. Whereas Josh Allen, if you force him to throw the ball, he's still going to succeed with flying colors. And if you need him to run the ball, he can still succeed with flying colors. So there's just a greater resiliency with Josh Allen, in my view, than Lamar Jackson. But again, do not take this as me saying that Lamar Jackson's a bad quarterback or not a top quarterback in the NFL, because he is. It's just, I just think Josh Allen is that next level. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about, who do you trust more, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? And what do you think this game means for the Buffalo Bills, whether they win or lose? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.